Good afternoon, it's your boy KANYE, aka the Real Black Superman, aka Valzard, coming to you once again. So, as a continuation of what I was talking about, pertaining who the hell is a Jew, you know what I'm saying, and why in the hell is these people so caught up with having to be a part of this whatever, something that's gotta be above everything else. So I'm gonna tell you like this. In actuality, I think there's not a race that's empowering per se. It's money. So there are people that control money, you know what I'm saying, control the flow of money, and we would think it'd be the government, but I don't think that's, me personally, I don't think that's the case. So when we're looking at and me and a cousin of mine, we was talking about Kanye and and his situation, and like I was telling my cousin, I'm like, sometimes you can't kill the messenger. You know what I'm saying? You can't kill the messenger, because how the messenger comes or bring the message to you. You can only just take out of that what applies to you and your understanding and move on. Let the other people, deal with the rest. I found that, you could look at somebody and you can see something, and that's something, and you can see something else also. So a lot of people think Kanye is crazy. In some realities, that could be the case, but I think that when you cram a lot of information up under one banner, it can become confusing. You know what I'm saying? Meaning he can give out so much information to where in one breath, to where it's hard to understand. And if your mind is not trying to separate them, then you'll just be confused and you just think he's crazy. I think that he exposed his master, you know what I'm saying, and the master didn't want to be exposed because they sneaky, they like rats, you know what I'm saying. They only come out when people are asleep, you know what I'm saying, and do their biddings. Okay, with that being said, in time, in slavery, in time, you woofed up at your master or did something that master didn't approve of, something that was consequences. In this case with Kanye, there's no difference, you know what I'm saying. And with it, a lot of other guys, as you can, I've said long and before, there were slaves on the plantation that had money. Their money meant nothing, really, at the grand scheme of things. It meant nothing. They just had it. And all it was something that they knew he would do. They knew that slave would go show the other slaves that he had money, and that his hard work and what he did is what got him the money that he got, and that he would be able to buy back his freedom. And that was a lie. Just like, I think, if you take that particular concept right there and you apply it to Kanye, he showed you that no matter how much money you have, you can never truly have your freedom. You can never truly have it, because everything you was given to you by somebody, and that somebody can show you that I can take that away, and that no matter what you do, you can't do nothing about it. That was the message. That particular message was shown. Those slaves also, back in slavery, was just only like a mannequin to the other slave. You see that, you like it, and this is how you get to that. You know what I'm saying? And they showed them like ways, or the slave showed way, like, oh, you gotta work hard. So now that the slave is us, the working class, we'll work hard, we'll do whatever that we can to try to get there. And the slave master knew that he wasn't going to arrange a way for them to ever reach that form of, level of achievement, to have money to enough to be able to buy back this imaginary freedom. You know what I'm saying? Not as long as you exist within the matrix or exist within the system. You know what I'm saying? And we think, and then we're gonna also somewhere in this bullshit, we're gonna believe that this shit is possible. That you can throw all your extra limbs, or you can achieve, you can get a business, and you can achieve and get this, and people will do that. That's the crazy thing, is people will get businesses, they will own these things, and as soon as we get in a position to get off master's titty, then something happens. You never know that something happens, and you cannot avoid that. You cannot escape something that was a plan. You know what I'm saying? And as time goes by, the plan changes. You know what I'm saying? It changes, and there are distractions thrown to where you're not gonna see the next phase. You know what I'm saying? Not the average mind. The average mind is not gonna see that. And, what we're focused on, because you gotta understand, mostly every culture has an elite, and in that elite culture, they are feeding off our culture. You know what I'm saying? They feed off their own, but it's not the same as the way they feed off for our culture. When they feed off our culture, nothing comes back to our culture. It's always something taken out of. We're the slaves amongst cultures. You know what I'm saying? The other cultures, yeah, you have people that are, at a lower status than some, but, they have a safe haven within their culture to where they can be prosperous. Know where you at, live your life, and pass whatever on to, your offsprings. You know what I'm saying? Us is to leave our offspring to be taught by another culture that is only going to teach our culture how to serve their culture. You know what I'm saying? And whatever creativity that comes up out of our culture, teach it to the next culture, so their culture can mimic what we do, and then they can eventually steal it from us, our culture. And the sad part about it is we're just falling right into their hands. We're just falling right into their hands. We teach them how to rap. We teach them how to sing, rock and roll. We taught them how to do all that, and all they do is come right behind it and teach and learn how to do what we do, and then eventually steal it from us, as they have done everything else. Their lifestyle, the way they live, the way they conquer, and all that stuff there, they learned it from us. Not saying that we conquered anything, but we created civilization. We created how to be civilized. You know what I'm saying? But they took the animal nature that goes against being civilized, and they used that to I think it's a storm in this area. You see how this truck is rocking? That's wind blowing, and there's a storm out there. I haven't looked at it, but there's a storm out there. Okay, so they took that and they used that savagery to conquer civilization in order to flip it around and give it to themselves. So I say that the only way, because as you can see, they're taking themselves out of the savage state and put it in the civilized state, and the only way they was do it, they had to be savages in order to do that, to take down civilization, to break it down and now rebuild it back up to where they're the civilized. And I've been saying for the longest, and I just hate to say it that way. In order to break down this structure that they have put together, is going to take a level of savagery. Because as long as you try to be civilized, they're always going to out-civilize you. They're going to always out-civilize us. You know what I'm saying? That's just the nature of the structure. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you get civilized enough and to get smart enough, they implement a level of savagery. Look at Marcus Garvey. He was doing everything right. You know what I'm saying? He was doing everything the way they had made up to build up a business and thus a pipeline for our culture. They took one of our people and turned him into a rat, a snake rat. You know what I'm saying? That was his only design. The first black federal agent became a federal agent only to bring down a legitimate black status. I mean, structure. That's it. Like, his whole mission was to get in, infiltrate, and find a way to sabotage it. And that's what he did. Go back and read the story about Marcus Garvey and see how that was savagery. That wasn't being civilized. That was a level of savagery. You took something that was good and you took somebody that had maybe good intentions, and turned him into a snake in order to bring something that was legitimate down so it couldn't prosper. Look at Black Wall Street. Legitimately black society, prosperous, growing. They bombed it with military planes. How, like I said, and I stand on this, like I said, there's no way to try to think that you're gonna do something civilized and they're not gonna mask it or outthink it with savagery. They built this country off of savagery. They were savages, animals, to do what they did. You had to be in that mind state to not care about human life, to do what they did in order to get this country and to build it up like they did. You cannot be a sane person to hang a man in a square before other men and women and children off of lies. There was no truth behind that. None whatsoever. How could you even believe that there was any there was God with that? God had nothing to do with that. So don't even think that when you look back, that's why they don't want us to look back. They don't want us to dwell in and they call it dwell because they want it to be seen as bad. But they don't want us to remember how they got their statuses. how they got their businesses. They don't want us to remember, because we are the children's of the children's children's. We are great grandkids that did not see what someone's forefathers did, and that they're living off it, happily living off of it, where they killed people for land. They killed some of our people for their land that they legitimately had. It was theirs, and they took it because they wanted. Now, if I look now and think about that, ain't that robbery? Ain't that a level of theft? Ain't theft by receiving is when somebody stole something or took something from somebody and transferred it to you, and you accepted it with open arms? So how can we even believe that anything that a person that lies, steals, cheat, and keep people for things that they want? So when you say, when you look at a person and we look at religion, they have done that too. They have stole religions. Yes, they have stole religions. Because see, when you look back in the past and remember and try to remember what your forefathers knew, and your forebearers, or whatever you want to call it, when you look at what they knew, I remember China being black. I remember Japan being black, Australia being black. Those people was black people. There was black people all over the face of the earth. How now are those people white-skinned? Why? Why are they that? And there's a such thing as selective breeding. You know what I'm saying? There's a such thing as that. Do we know what that means? Do we know when those processes took place? And what became of that? It's funny and sad. It really is. Because we let them steal this planet from us. And now they just don't want to give it back. And they know money will allow that. Money will allow that. And as long as our mind is scattered, there's not a chance. There's not a chance. Our people are scattered. We don't work together. And we can. We can work together. But we don't. And we think that we don't because we don't want to, or just people are not worthy of it. It's not that. We are being taught that by them. And when you think about Jews and how first of all, and I just ran across this, and because you know, the more, as long as you got an old book, if you ever got an old dictionary, don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. Keep it. If you can find an old dictionary, keep it. Old encyclopedia or National Geographic Explorer magazines, keep them, because they are rewriting some shit that they wrote already to change the narrative of things. They are stealing our culture that we have built now. They are stealing it now as we speak. I'm telling you, it is real. Jew, just like the word Jew, that's not even of the Hebrew. It's not from, okay, it's an English Latin word or English French word that they wasn't even speaking in the original language of where it's supposed to have came from. It doesn't, really describe the people in Judah or Judea. It doesn't. It doesn't describe those people, and people would think that it would, but it doesn't, because who's to say who those people were? Those people, it was so much stuff that happened back then that we don't know who those people actually are, because they say the 10 tribes got taken out of Israel, and then 2 tribes stayed, which formed the house of Judah that lived in Judea. Eventually, they got their behind smacked and snatched up out of there by the Babylonians. So there you have it. They was the last Hebrews, not Jews, because they try to slang that in there, because these Jews, just like Kanye was saying, they have their fingers in everything that we read and see, and it's no getting around that. So they are changing the narratives of things. Jew, they're trying to get as people that are modern, the modern day, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But we don't deal with modern when we're talking about these people, because modern can mean not at all. You know what I'm saying? Because we're talking about the Hebrew people that inherited this whatever. This is all built around them, and they're trying to snatch their legacy from them. You know what I'm saying? These modern day Jews, they are trying to take the Hebrew religion away from the Hebrews, which are black people, and give it to themselves, which are converts. They are people that converted to this. And they're trying to wipe this information away so we won't see that they were or is converted people to the religion, and that it is not a bloodline thing now. You see what I'm saying? Those people that's there, their bloodline means nothing. It means nothing. It gives them ownership to nothing but the money that they done stole from or tricked somebody out of. That's it. That's all it gives them. And they're trying to use that money to give them these rights and ownership to something. And they don't own that. And we should not give it to them. And we're not going to give it to them, because it is not yours. Unless you own up. And this changes that. Unless you own up to your shit, it's just going to be what it is, a battle, a fight. We're tired of being abused. We're tired of being used. It doesn't feel right. It never did. And you're not going to make us think that it should feel right. You're not going to weaken our genes by tricking us, our women, to deal with the weaker breed of men that y'all done tricked into, you know what I'm saying, into this culture, you know what I'm saying, of strong people that always picked it, the strongest of, you know what I'm saying, to carry the gene on like that. No, you're not going to do that. That's why we're easy to catch diseases and all that, because of what y'all philosophy are. You weaken us, you take us out, and then you keep that color because you know you need that melanin to survive. You're going to keep that, but you're going to put it on in another way, just like you did in China, just like you did in Australia, you know what I'm saying, Arabia, all these countries y'all go to and settle in and blend in with the people. Y'all just doing it another way over here. That's it. And for you people that are watching this, I'm telling you, pay attention. Pay attention. That's why I say, open your eyes. Open your eyes and look at what's going on around you, they are stealing something again. They don't care about us. They never did. And they're using lies and deceit to trick us into being the lesser something. That's why there are more them here than it is us when they was breeding us like cattle. How the hell do you breed somebody like cattle and y'all are the majority? How the fuck that happened? And see, they start giving us diseases, slowing our population rate down while they was fucking like rabbits. Like they giving money to go off somewhere and start up these agricultural fucking they was cultivating land and stuff, making food, you know what I'm saying, growing crops and stuff like that. And while we was over here struggling trying to fight these damn diseases off that they was giving us, they was being prosperous, given money by the government to be prosperous in the same avenue we could not use. If we tried to use it, we get locked up because we ain't supposed to be educated. Jim Crow laws. So keep thinking that there is not a war going on. Keep thinking that we're not targeted by this government or these politicians that y'all look up to. Stop looking at the color of the face. It's not that anymore. It's the conscious thought process that is our enemy. That's our true enemy. It's your boy KAL'el, aka the Real Black Superman, aka Balzar, coming to you this evening with nothing but the truth.